CNN is involved in a lawsuit against the White House right now, alleging that the recent suspension of Jim Acosta, their reporter, his press pass violates the First and Fifth Amendments. Since then, a number of media organizations, basically all of the big ones, have signed on filing friendly amicus briefs in that lawsuit. I believe the hearing is actually today, so it's proceeding relatively quickly. But they also have another supporter that you might not expect, and that is actually Fox News. So Fox News President Jay Wallace said in a statement that while the network doesn't condone the growing antagonistic tone by both the president and the press, just calling it even, it's the same, they're both bad. It does, however, support a free press, access, and open exchanges for the American people. Wallace also said Fox would file a brief in support of CNN's suit in federal court in Washington, so they are taking part in that as well. Another statement by Fox News was put out saying, Fox News supports CNN in its legal effort to regain its White House reporter's press credential. Secret Service passes for White House journalists should never be weaponized. So, I would not have expected Fox News would actually do this. They have been obviously very staunch supporters of Donald Trump, so at least right now, kudos to Fox News.
I think it's the right thing to do because at the end of the day, we're all in the same line of work. And having the ability to hold someone in a position of power accountable for their actions, having the ability to question authority is important in this line of work. And if you decide to set a dangerous precedent simply based on your partisan leanings, then it sets a dangerous tone for journalism in the future. Now, this has, in my opinion, even though Acosta is in the middle of all of this isn't about Acosta. This is about freedom of the press. It's about ensuring that we have a leader who actually acknowledges and supports our constitutional rights, especially the First Amendment, so we can practice our First Amendment rights, our free speech, freedom of the press. Trump has shown on multiple occasions, not just in this instance, that he does not really care about what the Constitution says. He doesn't believe in our Constitution. He doesn't believe in our democratic process. And that is a dangerous, slippery slope to be complicit in. And so I think Fox did do the right thing here. I'm glad that they're supportive of the CNN lawsuit. We'll see how this moves forward. But I do believe that CNN has a good case here. And I'm curious to see how this all goes because the judge who will be hearing this case is a Trump appointee.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, although when talking about this case, someone in the White House really waffled on whether they think the White House thinks it can win it or not. So he obviously is just vigorously opposed to the First Amendment and the rest of them too, but he hasn't read all of them. He doesn't like the first one though, he got through that. And the problem isn't just that he is willing to strip away those rights. And again, the First Amendment has been stretched to mean a lot of different things that have nothing to do with government exercise of power. This is the most clear possible case. This is the government saying, no, this particular reporter who we have a beef with isn't given access anymore. And it's not just that he is opposed to it, he's leading a movement that's opposed to it, which you will see in just a little bit. But before that, I do want to give you a little bit of what Fox News has been saying about this on their airwaves. Howard Kurtz was talking about it recently.
I think this suit is more of a PR effort than a legal one. I don't know if we're gonna get a profound ruling out of this because it casts CNN and its president Jeff Zucker as kind of champions of the free press. And this is why I think the White House stripping the credentials was a strategic error because it took the spotlight off of Acosta constantly interrupting, refusing to give up the microphone in that incident last week and turned him into something of a journalistic martyr. And it's caused a lot of people in the news business who may not necessarily like or approve of Jim Acosta's behavior to try to back what CNN's doing. And that's why Acosta is a divisive figure even among some of his White House colleagues.
Okay, so there, Howard Kurtz is sort of saying, I mean, he's sort of spinning it basically.
Right.
And so that's, if you were watching Fox News, that's what you're hearing about this. But they also have signed on to this suit. So how are Fox fans responding to this? Not well, actually. Let's jump ahead to some of these tweets. There were responses to the statement by Fox News. Fox News, you are dead to me, says proud nationalist Teresa. So that's a true believer there. Let's see, Fox is moving more liberal because the owner's liberal sons are running it now. I'm starting to watch One America News more, a place where I will be very, very safe from ever having to question any of my beliefs. Jordan D said the time has come to find a new voice for Republicans. Fox News has lost its focus. If I want to hear CNN, I know where to find them, and the rest of the left-wing liberal biased media. Say it ain't so, Fox.
You know, it's amazing because if you have a conversation with conservatives in America, many of them will refer to themselves as constitutionalists. They will say, no, it's not about right versus left, conservative versus liberal. I'm a constitutionalist.
They mean the Constitution pre-amendment.
They're not.
There's one more, I just want to give credit because this one was actually kind of funny. MAGA Kofefe Trumplican says, OAN, here I come, bye-bye, Fox Leisha. That's kind of funny.
Clever.
Kind of funny.
Very
okay,
good.
OAN is One America News. It's like Fox News, but with even less of a commitment to journalistic ethics. Fox is, for all of the other things it is, state media and all that, it is still media. And so they don't want to set a precedent where presidents can just strip people of their press credentials because what goes around with Jim Acosta could come back around to Brett Baer. And so they don't want that. But their fans won't even stand up for Fox in the future because it looks like they're going against Donald Trump. And above all else, you are not allowed to do this. Fox appears to have forgotten this is a cult of personality. They will support you because you support the cult. But if you go against the cult, you are dead to them. They will go to OAN or wherever.
This is not about protecting so-called liberal journalists. This is all about protecting yourself moving forward in the future, and it's a smart move for Fox. I remember during the Obama administration when the Edward Snowden whistleblowing happened, and we found out about the NSA indiscriminately spying on pretty much all of us. The argument in regard to people on the left, and I thought this was a great argument, people on the left who wanted to support Obama and make excuses for why this was happening with his NSA, was, hey, look, if you are okay with Obama doing this because you trust him and you're a Democrat, that's all fine, but we're not gonna have a Democrat leading the country for eternity. So if you set this standard now under a Democrat, what's gonna happen if you have a Republican, someone like Trump, and you give Obama a pass to spy? You don't want Trump doing the same thing, right? And of course, at that time, we had no idea that Trump would be the president. But it was a sound argument, and I think the same argument can be made right now. If you are part of the conservative media and you think it's okay for a Republican president to revoke press credentials simply because that journalist is, asking him a question he doesn't like, well, what's gonna happen when a Democrat's in power? Fox is not gonna wanna get their credentials revoked. So I think that's what this is really about for Fox. This is not about standing up for Jim Acosta. They're not the good guys, but they're looking out for themselves in the future.
They're not the worst guys right now.
They're not the worst guys.
Tomorrow, they'll be the worst guys.
They're not the worst when it comes to this very specific situation.
Yeah, and so I read a lot of the responses from people who are super critical of Fox for doing this, and just Trump supporters that are like, yeah, Jim Acosta was rude. The Constitution doesn't say anything about, they have all these rights except if they're rude one day.
Do they think muckraking journalists are polite? Do you think muckraking is a polite thing? No, muckraking by its very nature is investigating wrongdoings by elected officials and by corporations and businesses and delivering the truth to the people. That's what muckraking is. Muckraking is not, okay, you must break important news stories, but do so very politely toward people in positions of power. Get out of here, come on.
No, his movement, man, it is the same as anywhere in the world. The strong man and the people who think that he can do no wrong. And they're willing to cede all control to him. They don't care what he does. If he says that Jim Acosta was rude, I don't care. Show me a sped up video to support it, okay? That's all I need to turn off my brain and accept that the First Amendment is one of those that we don't need anymore.
On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.